Understand this. Your girl can either be your biggest asset or your greatest liability. Very rarely is there a middle ground when it comes to that. Most situations that you see in the news, celebrity gossip, anything that happens, there is some lesson to be learned from this, especially when it comes to relationships. You know, loss of life is no joke at all, especially when it comes to men, especially when it comes to the leaders of society. But here's one thing you guys need to understand, because people, they're coming up with all these conspiracy theories already, talking about how he came to lose his life. Oh, his girl set him up, or his girl did this, or his girl did that. For me, it doesn't really matter. It's all the same. Because here's the thing, because at best, either his girl was just obsessed with being seen rather than the safety of the man that she's with. And at worst, this was a calculated event that resulted in somebody losing their life. The result is the same. Your girl is either your greatest asset or your biggest liability. There are some videos that I showed on this channel where there are women who are engaging with other people while they're with their men and creating drama, creating a circumstance out of nothing, putting themselves in situations that could be easily avoidable. Something as simply as just simply being more feminine. Something as simple as just minding your business. Something as simple as just keeping your mouth shut. This is one of those situations, because truth be told, do you really need to show people that you're at a chicken and waffle place? I mean, that's the reason why a lot of people are kind of like, yo, was this a setup? Was this not a setup? I mean, if you like, I could see if you were like at a 5-star restaurant or something of that nature, but even then it doesn't really matter. You do not have to be seen all the time. And that is the problem with the modern females. They crave attention. They have to be validated by who they're with, where they're at, who's taking them out, who's spending money on them. When you're with a feminine woman, she's 100% in your frame. She's 100% being led by you. You need to establish ground rules. It is common sense for you to not post your location when you're out. You should have your girl in check enough to know that you don't post our location while we're currently out, or at the very least still at that spot. You can't wait 15 minutes until we get back home, get back to the condo, get back to the house for you to post where you were doing that day. You have to show what you're doing right now, and then location tag it to where people can come find you. That's the reason why people are coming up with all these theories, because this is just a simple case of human common sense and the lack thereof. This is unfortunate, man. And especially when you're a high profile individual that likely has enemies, you likely have people who don't like you, especially in the industry. You're probably going to have beef. And this goes beyond, you know, posting locations. This goes beyond how your woman is interacting with other people in public. Is she purposely starting fights with other people? Is she purposely being rude to other people in public? Things that put your reputation and things that put your image at risk. If you're dealing with a woman like that, who is able to be manipulated by street dudes after they put a bag on your head and they say, hey, we'll pay you this much to you know, let us know where he's at or give us a drop on him. What can we do? You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know the women that you're around. There are women that I didn't invite to my house after they say, hey, let me know when you want some company. Let me know when you want me to come over. And I look at her and I look at the way she carries herself, and I look at the men that, you know, I can infer that she usually deals with. And I said, nah, I'm good. I don't trust her over my crib. You guys got to learn when to turn down some pussy. Like, seriously. Every chick you should not be hanging around. Every chick you should not be kicking it with. You guys have to stop thinking with your lower half and start thinking with up here. That's how a lot of you guys get set up. That's how a lot of you guys get robbed, because you're led by lust. When you're led by lust, you're blinded. When you're led by greed, you're blinded. When you're led by anger, you're blinded. You make bad decisions. You make bad business deals. You make bad choices that lead to things down the road that are easily avoidable. This goes beyond relationships, guys. She's either your biggest asset or your greatest liability. What level of value does she bring to your life besides just looking good? If you play sports, how often does she give you massages? If you cut hair, how often does she sharpen your clippers? How often does she sweep up your shop? How often does she help you book appointments? If you run a business, how often does she help you answer emails and answer the phone? If you're a content creator, how often does she help you dump footage, import audio? How often does she do these things? If you do photography or videography, how often does she help you with that? If you do music, how often does she help you edit? How often is she behind the camera helping you shoot music videos, right? That's what I mean by a woman being an asset to your life, or is she a liability? Is she always running her mouth? Is she always embarrassing you in public? Has she gotten you into bar fights before? Is she putting you in situations that can be avoided? These are the questions you need to be asking yourself. Are you just dragging her along while she's adding absolutely no value to your life? Because if that was a woman who's adding value to that man's life, She would say, I know how my man moves. I know that there are some knuckleheads that hate him. Let me not post where we are, especially in a city like LA, a completely godless city that's full of schemers, that's full of people who everybody wants something different, full of people who will stab you in the back in a heartbeat just to get a deal, just to come up on a bag real quick. She knows better. And when you know better, you do better. And she's never going to know better unless you as a man tell her better, because she needs guidance. And that's not a bad thing. That doesn't make her unintelligent. That's just who we are as men and women. You are in a position to lead. So lead her. Correct her. When you're in public, she got her phone out. Put your phone up. We're together for a reason. If I wanted you to be on your phone, I would have called you. We're here together in the moment together. So let's be together. Put your phone away. Because they always want to be seen. They always want somebody to know where they are. And the problem is you guys aren't checking them on that. If I'm at dinner, I don't even want to see a phone unless I say, hey, take a picture of this real quick. Take a picture of me across the table real quick, or take a picture of me holding your hand or something like that. I don't want to see a phone because you're not in the moment. That's really all I have to say on this issue, man. Like and subscribe. I got more content dropping on the way, and I'll see you guys on the next one.